When it comes to video games, the spy genre is really underrepresented these days. Sure, you've had some big hits like GoldenEye, but when it comes to non-James Bond options, there's few and far between. But there is one spy, James Bond's true nemesis, that I bet you had no idea had a game catalog of his own.
Yeah, baby!
Austin Powers is easily one of the best parody series ever made, but when it comes to parodies, they don't tend to make it out of their own little bubble often. Spaceballs may have gotten a terrible animated series, but there's no game. What about Airplane? And where's Weird Al's 2D platformer, huh? But our old pal Austin here made it off the silver screen and into the video game sphere to fight it out with the industry's favorite spy. Kind of. See, a James Bond movie can easily be converted into a video game. Whether it's a first-person, third-person shooter, that cinematic action style can be replicated on any generation of console. But the Austin Powers movies were far more focused on comedy, especially poking fun at the specific tropes that the Bond movies relied on. So how do you translate that into a video game? Well, there were 4 attempts to answer that question, and by looking at all of them, we'll see just how successful they really were. First up is Operation Trivia, a PC game from the developers of You Don't Know Jack, as well as all the other Jackbox games that you've probably played at some point. Now, initially, a trivia game may seem like a complete genre mismatch for Austin Powers, but that off-kilter humor found in the Jackbox series, especially the early You Don't Know Jack games, surprisingly works really well with Austin Powers.
A Zoroastrian woman named Vilma once ritualistically shaved my testicles. It's a peaceful country.
Dr. Evil? Zoroastrian is a religion, not a country.
The game starts with a quick questionnaire to decide if you'll team up with Austin Powers or Dr. Evil. I wonder which one is which. Then you get into it, answering both vaguely themed trivia as well as movie-specific questions. The interactions between Austin, Dr. Evil, and the host fit the vibe of the movies pretty well, especially with the music and the visuals. And the different question styles help to break up the flow of the game. It is genuinely a pretty fun trivia game on its own, plus you get some fun and comedy that you would expect from something Austin Powers related.
Well, Team Powers, forgive me. Put your final score in a burlap bag and beat it with reeds, because Dr. Evil wins. I'm sorry, please, I liked you so much. I thought we really hit it off.
Now, sure, this doesn't let you step into the world of Austin Powers like any other tie-in game would, but it does something that I think works better for a movie like this, which is just bringing you more of it. Instead of making some GoldenEye clone, some thought was actually put into what would work for the IP. And shockingly, this does. That Austin Powers impression, though, it could use some work.
Yeah, baby, so hop on. Oh, I mean in. Oh, behave!
But what if you wanted to bring Austin Powers on the go with you? Perhaps on a system that was primarily owned by people who were not the target audience for these movies?
I don't even know what this is. This sort of thing ain't my bag, baby.
Welcome to Austin Powers Oh Behave for Game Boy Color. Yep, that's the Rockstar logo, which as you're about to see, wasn't always the badge of quality it's known for today. This game is, well, it's not really a game. It's a simulated PC environment, complete with DOS access, a desktop, and even a fake Windows boot screen. After a short profile creation, you get to the desktop where you have a few options. First, you can customize the background from tons of different options, such as Gun or Gun 2. One or two. But once you're done customizing your background, you can head over to the sound and pointer customization. You can change all of the interaction sounds as well as all of the different cursor states. But why all the customization? What is there to do? Well, the first up is games. You've got rock, paper, scissors, where you pick your opponent and then time your move. Fuck you, random task, I hate you! There's also this Pac-Man ripoff. Like, it's exactly Pac-Man, but with Austin Powers. Oh, and there's also, I guess, a movement speed power-up in addition to your standard power pellet thing. There's also Othello. Not as good as my goat Othello on the NES, but I'll allow it. And then of course there's the signature game for this release, International Man in a Platform Game, which is an okay 2D platformer. You run around collecting items in each stage while killing and dodging enemies before finally finding the exit. Now I'll admit, I'm not sure how long the game is due to getting very bored after the first 2 levels, but much like every other game included here, it's fine for some time wasting, you know, if you're on a road trip or something. But all the games in this collection have the same problem. I'm not really getting any Austin Powers here, which is surprising considering how much Austin Powers art is being thrown at you, but you can really swap out all of the Austin Powers related assets and I wouldn't feel any different. The Austin Powers theme isn't really doing anything here. It's not even making it more fun. But don't worry, there's somehow plenty of other stuff to do here. That's right, we have a word processing app. Yeah, you can just write stuff in here. Finally, an outlet for your Austin Powers and Dr. Evil fanfic. You can even print it out so you can send it in for publication. There's also a calculator, known as the Shagulator. That's a good joke there, guys. It's just a calculator app, but hey, at least Mr. Powers is having a good time. And finally, the internet. Really, this is just a lot of what almost feels like promo material for you to read. It's like a glorified press kit telling you all about the movies and the cast. I guess it's neat if you're like especially into the Austin Powers movies and didn't have any actual access to the internet at the time, but it doesn't really serve any real purpose today. Unless you're really interested in what they had to say about a pre-Shrek Mike Myers. Beyond that, there isn't much else to do. There's a movie clip you can watch, you can turn on a screensaver, and you can mess around in the DOS mode, which lets you unlock hidden cosmetic stuff and see funny messages. You can even enter cheat codes here for the minigames, like invincibility. But beyond that, unless you're keeping your diary on this thing, there's very little reason to keep coming back. But what if you hated Austin Powers, the character, not the movie? What if you wanted a different flavor of Mike Myers? Well, lucky for you, Rockstar saw the success of Pokemon and tried to copy them. No, not by making a good game, but by making 2 versions of the same game. This is the Dr. Evil themed Welcome to My Underground Lair. At its core, it's the same thing. It even has the same games, just with the roles reversed. There's also different backgrounds and sounds. Oh, and a different movie clip. But most importantly, it does come with one new game. Replacing the 2D platformer, we have Kin Evil, which is a game where you control Dr. Evil and Mini-Me as they do some sick tricks on a bike. This is actually almost a port of one of the devs' older games, Evil Knievel. It honestly reminds me of some of those old Flash games or even early apps where you did this exact kind of thing. It's much better than the 2D platformer. And sadly, that would be it for Austin Powers on Game Boy Color. But what if in another world, these games, if you can even call them that, sold better? Well, that's a different story. See, back in 2020, 2 other entries in this series leaked. Yeah Baby Yeah and Why Make Millions? These were, again, the same things except focused on the supporting cast of each side. Yeah Baby Yeah was mainly focused on the women of the series, and Why Make Millions on Dr. Evil's crew. Even though they were cancelled, the 2 games do still have their own exclusive mini-games. Yeah Baby Yeah features a driving game of some sort where you have to find a bunch of collectibles while making sure you don't die. It also seemingly takes place in Texas? I understand that his name's Austin, but I'm not sure that's what they meant. Why Make Millions has this jetpack-based game, which actually is really fun to control, but the level design needs some serious work. Out of all of these games, though, I think this one has the most potential to be its own thing. Sadly, the world would never see these games, and instead would only get one last Austin Powers game. But before that, a brief honorable mention. It's not a video game, but instead, it's the Austin Powers collectible card game from Decipher. Now, I was very into collecting their Star Wars card game, but I had no idea that this existed, and will be hopefully purchasing a booster box very soon. I'm crossing my fingers for a reverse holo Seth Green. If you want to see somebody play it, Northern Lion did a stream of it years ago. Highly recommended.
Can somebody throw me a frickin' bone here?
Anyway, back to our final game. What could it be? After trivia and a minigame collection / fake PC desktop, where else can Austin Powers go? Pinball. He goes Pinball. Released in 2002, Austin Powers Pinball features 2 tables, each based on the Austin Powers movies of the time. Wait, what do you mean there's a third one? Yeah, they just didn't make a table for Goldmember, which maybe in hindsight isn't that big of an issue, because that movie sucks. But a bit odd that it was meant to tie into the release of that movie, and there's nothing for it. Also, it released on PS1 2 years after the PlayStation 2 released, which was a choice. Now to the tables. The first table based on the first movie is really more so themed to the good guys. Like any good pinball, there's plenty of sub-games you can activate by hitting things on the table, and they're relatively well themed, though I never understood video game pinball not taking advantage of the fact that it's a video game and not an actual pinball table. There's so much more that you could do with this. The same things can be said about the second table, now based on the second movie, but more so based on the bad guys. I think overall this table is worse, it's just more boring to me, and there's not much going on. I guess compared to the previous games, this has the easiest way of using the IP, but is it really an Austin Powers game? Is Star Wars Pinball a Star Wars game? Is this a Mario game? But hey, it's pinball. If you like pinball, you'll enjoy this, at least for a little bit. And if you don't like pinball, well, I guess as we've seen, you don't really have much choice. I guess James Bond really has cornered the spy video game market. But can I watch GoldenEye on my 3DS?